Hello and welcome to On the Beat. I'm Detective Diana Tapia with the Public Information Office at the Mesa Police Department. Today in studio we have Sergeant Mike Goulet, who is the sergeant over document crimes, and he will be talking to us about internet scams. We will also be talking to Chief George Gascon. But now let's go on location with Detective Chris Arvayo, who is out with our new command van.
Thank you, Diana. This morning I'm here in front of the new Mesa Police Department Incident Command Vehicle. We received the vehicle in 2007 with the help of a Homeland Security grant. There's a few reasons why we would use this vehicle, and there's going to be times when citizens will see this in their neighborhood. The first reason, and the most important reason, is any act that involves Homeland Security. Anytime we can mobilize a mobile command system which allows our command staff to make key decisions out in the field, you will see this vehicle. Also in major crime scenes, whether it be homicide scene, a violent crime, any incident that would require us to have numerous detectives on hand, it can allow us to set up, work the crime scene in comfort, and allow us to do many of the things that we do at the police station. So if you see this vehicle in your neighborhood, don't be alarmed. Rest assured we're conducting some sort of investigation and it's for everyone's benefit. If you have any questions about the new Mesa Police Department mobile command vehicle, you're asked to contact the Mesa Police at 480-644-2211. Back to you, Diana.
Thank you, Chris, for the useful information. We are hoping that our citizens of Mesa will now have a better understanding of what our new command van does. Now let's go back on location to Detective Steve Barry, who's out with our Chief of Police, George Gascon.
Thanks, Diana. Now we're here with Chief Gascon. Chief, what can you tell us about the upcoming bond election?
Well, Steve, we're working with City Council and the Mayor's office, and of course the incoming City Council and the Mayor, in order to structure a bond package that will be put out for public safety later this year. There are several things that we're trying to get through in that bond package. One of them will be a new station for Dobson. Another one would be we need to upgrade our helicopter fleet. We're also looking at the possibility of creating an arraignment center in the old court as the court moves into the new building in a year from now. Additionally, we're looking at several upgrades to our communication systems. We know that we have some problems with our radio systems that come 2011. Some of our systems will be no longer operable. We're also looking at the possibility of obtaining money to build a secondary communication system so that we have a redundancy in order to ensure that if one of our systems goes down, the other one will be up and running. There are also some other technological requests that we're making. It is not clear at this point how many of these items are going to be going through to the bond. Obviously, we're going to have to work with the new mayor and the new city council. But I think it's important for our people to recognize two things. Number one, that this is a very critical year for us in public safety, both for police and fire. And number two, that we're going to be needing a great deal of public support in order to get these items through. Also, this is somewhat historic, because if this bond package does go through, it will be the first time in the city that it actually will have attached a secondary property tax. So it's going to need a lot of support in order to get this through.
Wow, Chief, that sounds like a great package. Sounds like we've got a lot of important things tied to that. One of the other things that's going along that, of course, with the change in the economy and the budget, is our volunteer program that we've got here at the police department. What can you tell me about that program?
Well, you know, we have, the Mesa Police Department historically has had one of the best volunteer programs in the nation. In fact, last year we received over 20,000 hours of service from our volunteers. We're now in the process of re-engineering the program. We want to increase the number of volunteers. We have approximately 120 to 130 active volunteers, and my goal is to at least double that number in between 2008 and 2009. Volunteers really offer two things for us. Number one is obviously they come in and they work with us and they take a lot of things that normally would require a paid employee to do, and that is significant savings to us. But the other thing too is the volunteers serve as a conduit, as a vehicle to communicate messages from the community into the police department and from the police department to the rest of the community. So they play very critical roles, and we're very proud of our program today, and we frankly like to enhance it.
Sure. Wow, Chief, it sounds like we've got a lot going on here at the police department, and those are some great things we've got coming up. Hey, thanks for being with us today.
Steve, my pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Today we are going to speak to Sergeant Mike Goulet, who oversees the Document Crimes Unit at the Police Department. Sergeant Goulet, what types of crimes does your unit investigate?
We take care of the fraud types of crimes, and that could be anything from embezzlements, identity theft, credit card fraud, some forms of internet type of crimes as well.
What types of internet crimes have you seen?
There's quite a variety of crimes that are out there that involve the internet, and unfortunately, as the internet becomes more and more popular, those crimes are also going to increase. So we have dealt with a number of scams, for instance, on the internet.
What types of scams? I know that the internet has become such a commonly used tool for everyone in their everyday lives, and we can easily be victimized by certain things that are on the internet. What types of scams have you seen?
Well, something that's really popular that we're seeing an increase of it, at least I'm seeing some additional reports more, have to do with the lottery or a sweepstakes type of scam. The victim will actually receive unsolicited an email saying, congratulations, you're the winner of the whatever lottery, whatever sweepstakes, and then the bottom line is they are asking that victim to send a certain amount of money, usually by wiring the money to some location, to cover the taxes or to cover getting the money into the country, because they're telling them this might be from Canada or it might be from some other country. So what will happen is that person will actually go ahead and send that money and never hear back again. Or what will happen is that they'll send that money off to wherever they're asked to send it to. Then they'll get another email correspondence saying, thank you, we received that, but we're having some additional problems getting that money to you. So they'll ask for some more money. And unfortunately, we've had victims who have given up several thousands of dollars because of this one particular scam.
Now, is it an email that is received through the lottery? Or is it, how do they get the information initially?
It's called phishing. And basically the perpetrators out there, they just do a blanket email to a number of email addresses in hopes that somebody will take the bait. And that's that one particular type of scam. Now there is another one that is very popular that we're seeing, and that is when the individual has something that they're listing for sale on the email, and that could be on a number of websites such as eBay or Craigslist, and they'll put that item up for sale. Let's say it's for $500, and someone will eventually correspond with them by way of email saying, oh, that's the product that I wanted, that's the certain item I've been looking for, and they'll converse back and forth trying to get more information, trying to get that person off guard. And then eventually what's going to happen is they will tell them that they will be receiving a check in the mail, and please forward the item to me. Well, what will happen is they will get a check in the mail or by way of any other type of method of receiving it, either through some type of FedEx or something to that effect. Unfortunately, what will happen is that check will be for more than what the actual asking price was. Now, the reason for that is they want that individual to take the bait on that and cash that check. Many times the person will correspond with them back by way of email saying, hey, wait a minute, the item was $500, but you sent me a check for $800. They'll say something like, oh, my assistant made the mistake. Well, go ahead and cash the check, and then by way of wire, send us the difference back. And, you know, it's causing you a lot of trouble to do this, so take an extra 10% for your trouble. So they will go ahead and do that. They will send them that difference back, and then maybe a week, 2 weeks later, their bank notifies them and says, that check that you cashed was fraudulent, and they want the money back. Or many times they'll actually close or put a stop on their account due to the fraudulent activity. So unfortunately, they will be out of that money.
So this sounds too good to be true.
It
when
is.
somebody sends you a check, you know, the item's $500, you get a check for $1,000, no one's going to give you an extra $500 just because.
You know, and that's the thing with the internet scams, when you mention it's too good to be true, because if a person had correspondence with individuals either regarding sweepstakes, even though they never even entered the contest, or like when they're selling something, if they need to use some common sense. and just listen to, you know, sometimes you hear people say, oh, you know, I had that gut feeling or something.
Right.
You know, they need to listen to that. There are many scams that are going on out there, so just if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Well, that's good to know. What information, what resources are out there for people who have been victimized by an internet scam?
Well, I think there are a number of resources that are available via the internet. There are websites out there where a person could file a report with for instance, there's a particular FBI website that they can use to file that report. Or if a person thinks that they might be getting scammed and they haven't gone forward yet and given the money away or sent the money off or done anything to lose money, there's certainly websites that are available where they can go on and look at and see what are the latest scams that are out there. And I've also had phone calls too from a number of citizens who have said, you know, I've got this email, I'm not quite sure, and they'll talk to myself or any other members of our unit, and we'll be more than happy to kind of give them the latest information.
Now, since this looks and appears to be a commonly committed crime, identity theft, very popular, we hear a lot of preventative businesses out there advertising that, you know, they can secure someone's identity theft and all these things that are on the internet. Who is it that the victims can report this to? If they've become a victim, can they report it to the police department? Will the police department investigate it at a local level? Or is this something that can be done maybe at a federal level?
Well, again, it kind of depends on what the circumstances are. We have certainly had a number of reports that have been filed with the police department. Sometimes we'll have to forward those reports on to the various appropriate agencies, because the problem with the internet crime is that it's very difficult for a local jurisdiction to investigate. As I had said earlier, many times these scams don't even originate within the state, the country. They usually many times are outside the country, making it very, very difficult for a local agency to investigate. So that's why the FBI has set up, for instance, a website where people can actually file that report as well.
That's very helpful. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us today about this important crime, and I think that anybody can become a victim of an internet scam.
Absolutely.
For more information, please feel free to log on to our website, or you can call us at 480-644-2211. Thank you for watching.